think, from a fan standpoint, the public was probably surprised by what you did in the combine the NFL teams already know. Like, has anything changed in terms of their interest since what you did in those events?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think this has grown. I mean, to say that the teams didn't know, I don't know if they didn't know. I don't think they knew it to that level. And I think it's just one of those things you don't know till you see it in person. I mean, I think a lot of the traits in my game are something you got to see up close and personal. It's not something you just watch on film all the time. And if you really see the way I attack, practice, the film room, the training room, and I think those are things that once NFL teams got to get more of an up close and personal look at. The Senior Bowl, the Combine. That's what they got to see. Then the testing numbers and the practice habits at the Senior Bowl just kind of backed all that up. And so yeah, I definitely think teams were surprised. I think fans were surprised, but I mean, to me, it's what I've been doing my whole career. I just finally able to put it on display and kind of just show what I'm really about.
Next question will be Brendan, front row on your left.
Yeah.
You were here for a year, maybe not even quite
It's like
that
361 days.
Not even. You seem to maximize your time at Florida State, though. I guess, what about this fit worked so well for both parties?
I mean, I think for one, when your dreams expire, it turns it up another level of, intensity that you got to bring. But, I think just from day one, what Coach Norvell brought to the table of, the intensity he brought, what he was looking for in a player, what I was looking for my last year, I think it was a no-brainer. And, I could tell what was being built here, coming off a 10-3 year before I got here. I was like, okay, I could see the building blocks here, what's going into this. And then, I saw who was coming back and then what was also being brought in. I was like, this could be super special. And, for me, it was about how can I make the biggest impact, on all levels of, Florida State, not just on the field, but, in the film room, in the training room, practice habits, how can I, help build young guys? And, everyone always says, leave the place better than how you found it. And that was something big coming into it for me. And I kind of expressed that to Coach Norvell, and that's what he was looking for. And, I think it was, clearly it was a perfect match because it worked out so well. But, I can't thank him and the staff enough for giving me the opportunity because, without this, I don't know how much of my postseason success right now I'm having. I don't know, it's just hard to tell, but yeah, it was great. I couldn't have asked for a better experience.
I'll go third row on the left for Jordan.
Braden, can you talk a little bit more about your experience at the Combine, what it was like having 11 of your other teammates there, and then also the interview process with teams?
The Combine's interesting. They tell you as much as they can about it to warn you. They give you all the tips and tricks, but at the end of the day, it's just something you got to experience, kind of go through to understand. It's kind of just you spend more time. I talk about it all the time. You spend more time in your underwear there. You do your clothes. It's just like the mental evaluation at the Combine is bigger than the physical. And that's what I think most people got surprised by because you got to spend, at least in my case, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You're up late and getting up early and you're doing stuff all day, and then you're asked to go out there and put your best performance on the field on Thursday. But overall, great experience. It's a good problem to have, right? And, to be able to go there and put your talents on display. That's what everyone dreams of. And for me, it took a little bit longer to get there, but it was even sweeter being able to go out there and put a performance on. And I'm sorry if I don't know. So I got off a little tangent there, but hopefully that answered the question.
Okay. Come back to Ira on your right.
The NFL Network people got excited by after the year 40.
All right.
Did you know, did you know you would run a good time, or did you just, is that what you do after you run every 40?
No, going into the process, in January when I first got down to my training site, Bomarito's, I talked to my trainer, I was like, listen, I have to run a 4.7. And my pre-test when I got there was like 5.02 or something. And it was like, all right, well, we got some work to do, but I'm sprinting against Jared every day. I'm racing Coach Norvell most days until I got a little tired later in the season. But I knew I could run fast, and it was just something that especially once I got my first 10 yards, I was like, all right, we're moving. And then the mock combines you do leading up to the actual combine, my numbers were hitting exactly where they were supposed to be, and I knew it was gonna hit. And it was funny, in the interviews with teams, I was like, yeah, they were asking me what are you gonna run? I was like, it's gonna be fast. And they were like, well, what's fast? I was like, just wait. And I was like, what do you think I'm gonna run? Teams would be like, maybe 4.9, maybe the high 4s. I'm like, all right, cool. Bet. Perfect opportunity. And so yeah, just being able to do that was huge.
But can you see the number when you run it, or
no? So on the screen, so they show the broadcast up on one of the big screens there, but at the bottom it's cut out, so you don't see the time. So And like you can tell by reactions like that, like fans when they're clapping, I was like, all right, it must have been decent. Then you run it back and like, Reggie Wayne standing there on the side, he's just looking at me like, yo, who is this guy? You know, you get back and all the guys that are running too, like the scouts are over there, they're like, yo, that was fast. I'm like, bet. All right, cool. And then, so yeah, that's cool.
Stay there for Corey.
Did what happened in Indianapolis, did it change your expectations for draft week? As opposed to, I don't know what you thought, what range I'm gonna be drafted in, and now I assume you have a different thought of what range you might be drafted in.
Most definitely. I think just going back to, you know, say even before the Florida game or ACC championship game, I mean, my draft stock was, I mean, realistically looking like a 4th, 5th, you know, maybe, and you know, and it's wishy-washy, right? But I think after, you know, ACC championship, Senior Bowl, Combine, I think I helped myself quite a bit. I mean, it's looking good. I can't put an exact number on it, but I mean, it definitely made a huge impact on, you know, where we're going to take this guy. Because I mean, me being 24, and you know, they love talking about my arm length, right? But you know, they're trying to get me at a discount no matter what. But you know, putting out performances like that, it kind of forces the team to play their hand. And I think it'll be interesting to see come draft time, you know, who falls in love with you and who's going to pull the trigger. And you know, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to go somewhere.
We'll go back to the left for Chris.
What, if anything, are you gonna actually do on Friday here?
I'm doing everything. No, it's fine. I'm doing just position drills. I mean, could I go out there and try to run 40 again? Maybe, but I think we did enough. We'll go out there, do some position drills, and make the most of that.
We'll go back to Jordan.
Braden, you mentioned your training over the last few months. Besides your speed, what else are you trying to work on to improve as you get drafted to the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just overall game. You know, I mean, how can I attack? Because teams really look at me as like a 3-down guy, but more of like a pass rush scenario guy. And, you know, for me, it's in my pass rush game. You know, how can I be more effective in different scenarios of 3rd and long, 3rd and short. You know, counters, 2nd and 3rd rush moves. You know, when to counter on. The depth of the quarterback, where to find that. I mean, it's it all plays into it. Then in the run game, it's something you constantly preach. You know, pad level, hands, where you're striking. You know, the point of attack. You know, where you're fitting on double teams. You know, how you're gonna slip it. I mean, it's all things you're trying to sharpen no matter what. I mean, I can't pinpoint one exact thing. I mean, it's just trying to take where my game level was when I left here to where can I take it to, and where can it get to. And that's kind of what I'm looking forward to the most, especially getting to an organization and hopefully finding the right vet to just follow. I mean, that's something I've kind of done my whole career is found guys, whether it's to compete with them or whether it's to learn from them. Like there's always something you can learn in this game, and that's kind of what I look forward to the most at the next level is find that vet that's going to be able to take me under his wing and just show me the ropes until I can eventually take my game to that next step.
Come back to the right for Corey.
Two ones, actually. The first one, have you decided where you're gonna watch the draft from?
Yeah, I plan on going back to Michigan City with family and friends. I don't know. I've debated on like if I do get the draft invite somehow. I mean, if that were to happen, I mean, would that be super cool? But I don't know. I'd hate to be that guy sitting in the green room and it's like pick 32. You're like, that'd be a little. I don't know, I think it's a little more special, especially where I come from. How much it means to people in my community just to be around family and friends. We already have a location picked out and sending invites out, so I'm excited to just get back with everybody. I mean, it's really Michigan City is really special to me, especially like how I came up in football and just the amount of coaches that had an impact on me, and just to be able to go back there and kind of celebrate with everyone. And I think there's a lot of kids back home that look up to me, and it'd be cool to show them like, hey, like no matter how long that journey is, like it can happen. And, it's happening for me, and I'm just excited to give back and kind of share that with everyone.
And when what you guys did at the combine with Jarian running what he ran, and obviously Jared and you and Bernardo, was that just another statement of what the 2023 Florida State defense, our team as a whole, but especially that defense was, and how talented it actually was?
I mean, if that's not a statement, I don't know what it is. I mean, I just think just the amount of talent. I mean, you could see it screams off the combine. I mean, you look at the numbers of each position group. There's a Florida State logo on there, and I feel like that showed all season. But hey, I mean, we weren't the ones making the decisions. But even on offense, I mean, Trey running a 4.3? I mean, that's stupid. Like, I mean, it's frustrating, but. I mean, I couldn't tell the amount of times, teams are like, how did you feel? I'm like, how do you think I felt? Like, we're sitting there, we're all thinking we're in there, and then, you know, they put another team there, just like, what? But, yeah, no, it's, I think the combine was a great testament to, like, yo, we had more than just a couple guys on this team. We had a whole squad. Oh, sorry, I was like, we talking there.
Alright, Chris?
You talked about the acceleration of interest in you since UL game and UF game. Has there been a team that's been kind of consistent with you through this whole thing where they've been very interested in you, and obviously the elevation of your level of interest has increased?
No, it's definitely picked up. I mean, I can confidently say I've talked to all 32 and some teams multiple times, but to pinpoint a couple teams, I mean, definitely Pittsburgh, Seattle, you know, Las Vegas. There's been a few. I mean, it's hard to say because, you know, some teams, kind of interesting how teams play their cards differently. You know, no one wants to give their whole hand. And, you know, they don't want to give away, you know, how much interest they're showing. I mean, whether that's who they send on, you know, or who they bring in on combine days, or who they bring in on pro days, of like who they want to get eyes on. And to pinpoint an exact team is kind of tough, just because, you know, everyone kind of plays their cards differently. And I mean, I've talked to guys in the past I've known that, you know, coming up through the process of like the team that showed the most interest drafted. Like, no, like some teams that didn't even talk to me drafted. Just like, what? Like, how does that work? But I mean, they must know what they're doing. So I mean, maybe that's why I'm in my position and they're in the scout's position. But yeah.
Alright, next question will be from Logan on Zoom.
Cool. Yeah. Well,
Hey Braden.
how's it going?
Hope everything's going well. Can you tell us about Odell Beckham? And you only had 1 year with him, but just kind of run us through his coaching style and just your experience with him in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, my experience with Odell was huge, and I think that was one of the things that attracted me to come here was, you know, when me and Odell sat down and talked. I mean, he understood my scenario, being a 6-year guy. You know, was going to be more about how can we just sharpen the sword rather than, you know, ground and pound and, you know, beat your body up every day. And you know, I think that was, I mean, and he played the game, so he understands. He played my position more specifically, so he understands, you know, how much goes into, you know, practice. It's rough on the body, especially being a 6-year guy. Like, you don't need to get a ton of reps in practice because, you know, you played the game, but, you know, like, I can't speak highly enough on him because, I mean, how personable he is. And that was kind of my favorite part about him. You know, it wasn't always just about ball. I mean, he'd just bring you into the office or he'd call you. I mean, the man probably calls me he still calls me like at least once a week, and I've been gone for 3 months. I mean, that just shows who he is. And yeah, no, I mean, we have a great relationship, and I couldn't have asked for a better coach to be around for my final year.
Alright, we'll end with Ira on your right.
They've got a lot of holes to fill on this team, but particularly defensive tackle, you and Fabo went on, and Dennis left, and Malcolm left. And what did you see from like KJ and some of those young guys, and what do you expect from that group moving forward?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you just brought up KJ. KJ, man, he's gonna be great. I mean, he has one of the more natural feels for like a pass rush that I've seen from a young guy, and just the way he attacks, like he wants it. You know, it's cool to see that from a young guy, like when he wants to be good. You know, some young guys come in timid and, you know, kind of don't know where they fit in or how they should approach the game, and he approaches it kind of like a vet already. It's pretty cool, just of, you know, he wants to get better. You know, Odell's tough on young guys. So, I mean, he was one of the, I think he was our only freshman this past year, and you know, he got a lot of the, you know, the yelling and the, you know, the extracurriculars, whatever you want to call them. But no, I mean, he took it on the chin like a man, and you know, he's gonna be a great ball player, and I'm excited to see him. But I mean, guys like Daniel Lyons, I mean, he's gonna be a great player. We didn't have that big a drop. We've got Josh and Daryl out there. I mean, that's maybe an upgrade, but no, I mean, those guys are gonna be great, and I think that was the coolest part of like later in the season, building better relationships with those guys, and just, you know, just trying to show them, you know, the way I approach it. I talk to Daryl and Josh quite a bit now, and they just asking me how my process is going, you know, what to expect, and, you know, what can they do to take to their game. It's been cool to communicate with those guys. I'm gonna be talking to them here soon, but yeah, no, I think they got a bright future ahead for sure.
Alright, thank you, Braden.
Cool. Thank you.
Man.